Gloucestershire got one over their West Country rival Somerset in the Vitality Blast, winning in Bristol by 25 runs, but more importantly, it increases their chances of reaching the knockout stages at their neighbours' expense. Put in, Gloucestershire started well, with Michael Klinger taking 3 successive fours off Jerome Taylor, the second over of the contest. This after the much-anticipated match at Taunton between these two rivals last Friday had been lost to the weather. It was Klinger, rather than his opening partner, who made the early impression, although Miles Hammond was also soon putting bat to ball as he went after Craig Overton, a packed house at Neville Road enjoying every minute. The 50 was up inside the power play, by the end of which the total read 54 without loss. The home team on top, both batsmen going along very nicely indeed. With the fielding restrictions lifted and the slow bowlers employed, Hammond moved ahead of his partner, the total up to 84 at the halfway stage of the innings in this crucial match, both teams looking for a place in the knockout stages by the end of next week. Hammond brought up his 50 off his 37th delivery and celebrated with the first maximum of the match, a shot which also completed the 100 partnership between these two. The stand was finally ended 3 balls later as Hammond tried to go big again but picked out Babar Azam off Roelof van der Merwe to fall for 56, Somerset claiming their first wicket with a score at 105. Klinger moved to a 38-ball half-century and left it to James Bracey to use the long handle, successive sixes off van der Merwe keeping Gloucestershire's momentum moving forward. Klinger has by no means been at his best during this tournament, but he loves these derby matches and picked now to show some of his very best form. 2 fours off Overton brought up his side's 150 in the 16th over. And then in the next one, he hit Tom Lammonby into the distance as he looked for a strong finish. The bowler responded by having Bracey held by Babar Azam, the batsman departing with 20 runs to his name, made from a dozen deliveries. 19 runs came off the penultimate over, with Jack Taylor up the order to do just this. Klinger fell in the final over, his fine innings ending on a 52-ball 74 as he holed out to Eddie Byram off Tim Groenewald. Taylor was out 2 balls later for a quick-fire 24, Overton holding on this time. And the innings ended in the best possible way for the home support as Ian Cobain cleared the rope to take his side to a very challenging total of 189 for 4. To defend that, removing Tom Banton early was a priority for the Gloucesters, and David Payne did just that as a talented youngster, 1 ball after striking this 6, found the safe hands of Andrew Tye, Banton on his way for 10 in the 3rd over. So it was left to James Hildreth and Babar Azam to set the foundations, this pair keeping their side where they needed to be. Several boundaries carrying the total to 59 for 1 at the end of the 6 overs of power play, the game at this stage very nicely balanced. And it remained that for a while as the score moved up to 91 at the halfway stage of the chase, 99 more runs needed. But Somerset were having to do that without Babar Azam, who, having eased to 44 from 29, was stumped off Tom Smith, whose first 2 overs went for only 8 runs. Smith was becoming a local hero as he then had Byram held by Tye for 5 in his next over. And it was the Gloucesters who moved ahead of the game in the next one, the 13th, as Bracey showed quick work behind the stumps to get rid of Hildreth for 40 off a wide, Graham Van Buren the bowler. And he then removed Overton, who struck out to Ryan Higgins, the visitors sliding to 110 for 5 and now needing 80 more from the remaining 7 overs. The sensational Smith finished with the fine figures of 3 for 19 from his 4 overs, his third victim being Tom Abel, as once more Bracey did extremely well behind the stumps. Lammonby is obviously a young man for the big occasion, and he just about kept his team in this contest, the target down to 35 off the final 3 overs. That became 29 off 2 now. Somerset, though, 7 down as Van der Merwe skied to Cobain off Higgins to fall for 17. And the game was as good as over 2 balls later. Lammonby bowled by Ty for 31. Somerset now with too much to do, having really lost too many wickets. Ty then saw off Grunewald in the same fashion 3 balls later, as the home fans could now celebrate in full voice. It was perhaps fitting that the match was finished with a catch for Smith. Max swallowed the man out to Higgins for a duck. Somerset all out for 164 to start a night of celebration in Bristol. So Gloucestershire took the game by 25 runs and now have distance between themselves and their rivals in the South Group table. They have 2 tough games to come though, away at Kent and Sussex, but 1 win should be enough for them, while Somerset have an immediate opportunity to right this wrong as they take on Glamorgan at Taunton.